Richard, it seems like in the last couple of weeks we've heard a lot more noise about actual small cell deployments, whereas the previous couple of years we just heard a lot of talk about small cell. Maybe you could share, if you don't mind, share with us your views on the criteria that carriers and enterprises are making between, do I deploy indoor DAS, outdoor DAS, or small cell?
I think it depends upon, what you're trying to accomplish. And as we alluded to, previously on what is the technology and the business model solution that will achieve that? We're evolving towards a tighter footprint, closer density of delivery of that wireless communication for data purposes, for measurements that we talked about on from bounce and beacon, and Bluetooth, and how do you capture? What are you trying to accomplish with that wireless technology? What are the users' requirements? What's the venue's requirements? What's the carrier's trying to achieve to be able to do that? So I think from a small cell to outdoor DAS, a lot probably has to do with a combination of density of what you're trying to achieve in that particular environment. What availability do you have from a fiber standpoint? From the infrastructure. Sometimes when you go below the base of the street, you get into Medusa's hair. So you wonder, how can you deliver that? You have certain ratios of where do you house the equipment. I think you're getting into a centralized base of head end that will serve, be it it currently being done in a oDAS environment, and small cell will be the same. Where you'll have centralized small cell or DAS facilities that will house all the equipment, and then the fiber outreach will accomplish either on an iDAS, oDAS basis or a small cell basis. I think one of the misconceptions on with oDAS, outdoor distributed antenna systems that everyone has found, and even on small cell, you're still dealing with the leasability, the zonability, and constructability of that, and what is the business model to support that. If you're attaching a small cell to a building, you're still dealing with the relationship with that venue and that agreement. You're still, to a certain extent, depends upon the jurisdiction, you're still looking at, what conditional use permits, or is it allowed by right? Are you on street furniture of city-owned property? Those dynamics aren't, changing unless there's some allowed by right that exists, kind of where I grew up on summers on a ranch, where it really doesn't matter, from an outdoor standpoint. But I think the dynamics of leasability, zonability, and constructability, and the business model associated with that is still a dynamic that impacts any type of deployment, be it small cell or putting a 200-foot tower.